Hey everybody, hope and pray that you're doing well today as we come to our word from the word. And today that word is restart. Restart. We left off last week, with Jacob and that he was to come back to Bethel. He doesn't quite make it that far, and he settles in Shechem, and it's amazing there. We talked a little bit about the fact that he should have gone on a little further. He should have completely obeyed the word of the Lord. And there's a lot of other things going on there. And then even as we find in Genesis, that was Genesis chapter 33. Genesis chapter 34, some horrible things happen. And we're going to pick up today in Genesis chapter 35. And really this week, we're going to be able to finish up the prayers that we see in Genesis. Now, if you look, we've got a long way to go to get to the end of the book, but the prayers and conversations, particularly with God, are not as numerous as they were earlier in the book. So, as we come today to a restart in Genesis chapter 35, let's look at Jacob and what God tells him here. Genesis chapter 35, starting in verse 1, Then God said to Jacob, Arise, go to Bethel and dwell there, and make an altar there to God, who appeared to you when you fled from the face of Esau, your brother. And Jacob said to his household and to all who were with him, Put away the foreign gods that are among you, purify yourselves, and change your garments. Then let us arise and go up to Bethel, and I will make an altar there to God, who answered me in the day of my distress, and has been with me in the way which I have gone. So they gave Jacob all the foreign gods which were in their hands, and the earrings which were in their ears, and Jacob hid them under the terebinth tree which was by Shechem. And they journeyed, and the terror of God was upon the cities that were all around them, and they did not pursue the sons of Jacob. So Jacob came to Luz, that is, Bethel, which is in the land of Canaan, he and all the people who were with him. And he built an altar there and called the place El Bethel, because there God appeared to him when he fled from the face of his brother. Now, that El Bethel is literally the house of God, and it's amazing that he's kind of, he says that Jacob says, "Look, I want to put the foreign gods away from us." So that tells us, it gives us a little bit of insight into what may have been going on in these years that are in between passages in Scripture. Let us know a little bit of how Jacob and his family maybe got away from the Lord or didn't quite get to the point where God wanted them to be. And some of it had to do with foreign gods that would have likely been brought in by his wives and his children as they've gone out and dabbled in the world essentially and brought those things back in. And we see this theme throughout the Old Testament as we see that Israel is to be a model or an example for all of Canaan and all of those around them, their enemies. They're to be the example in the land of Canaan, but instead the ones in Canaan that they do not kill, as the Lord tells them when they first enter the land, the ones that they don't put away, they end up being infiltrated by them and being basically exposed to their foreign gods, and the foreign gods' idol worship is always a problem with Israel. So here we find that Jacob is getting this command to come back. And so as we're talking about prayer, we know as he was building an altar that there was worship involved, and there was obviously prayer involved, even though it doesn't technically say that in the passage. But here's the thing: when he comes and he basically makes this El Bethel, the house of God, that he is building an altar. He's put away all the foreign things, and it's as if he has realized that this is what kept me from doing what God would have me to do. So it's kind of like, so many of us have cell phones. And so when they start acting crazy, I mean, they're just little small computers. So, a lot of times, what do? You restart them. And it seems like it goes back and some of those bugs and some of the things that weren't working quite right now, it can all come back. I think about it too. There's those moments where sometimes we have to reset all the way back to the factory settings. But see, that's kind of what's going on here is Jacob is saying, look, we need to start over. We need to figure out what's causing all this problem. The viruses, essentially, to use that computer analogy, that have gotten us away from God. We need to get rid of them. And so we just need to start over right here. And so let this today be an encouragement to you that no matter where you are, no matter how far maybe you have gotten off track and away from God, or even how close you are to being obedient to God. Even as Jacob and them, as his family and all those with him, as they came back, he almost went far enough, but he didn't quite go the distance. So here we find today that he decided that no, it's no longer delaying obedience, but now God gives him specific instructions. The only time we read in Scripture where they tell him in Genesis, rather to the patriarchs, is the first and only time that we see that he tells them to build an altar. And so it's amazing to see the worship that would go on when he starts over. And because remember, this is the fulfillment of God's promises. So as you come today and we come to the Lord in prayer, maybe you need to restart today. If you're watching these in order, then today is Monday, right? It's the 1st of February. So it's a new month. It's a new week. And I mean, we've just recently started a new year. Maybe your New Year's resolutions have already gone out the window. What a beautiful time to restart right now. To just say, you know what, I'm going to put away the foreign gods. I'm going to put away all my focus on my maybe my technology and social media. I'm going to put those things on the back burner, and I'm going to put God and His Word and His truth and time in quiet time and prayer and spending time being a witness. I'm going to put all those things up front, and I'm going to worship the Lord. So maybe today is a great day for you to restart as well. And I'm going to tell you, like I've been telling you all month in January in our plundering series, it all begins with prayer. God bless you, and I pray you have a great, great day.